Hello and welcome back to Woodruff Family Wisdom at ppptime.com, patio prayer and praise time. And today we are here on the patio and we will be setting some 2021 goals concerning, I don't want to say weight loss. That is gravy, we love that too, but however, the number one goal here is changing maybe some bad habits and more nutrition. I think that's the number one goal. Remember when I first gave my life to the Lord, and okay, I was a smoker when I first gave my life to the Lord. Although my dad said, "Oh, you didn't have the habit." That's what my dad would say. But
because God broke the yoke.
Because God broke the yoke so fast. Because I can remember waking up the next day after I gave my life to the Lord, and I was like, well, actually, when I came home from church that night, from giving my life to the Lord, I just took out my cigarettes and I just flushed them down the commode. And so my dad was like, "Oh no, you didn't have the habit." I never had the habit or had the urge to really smoke again. So, but I had this one thing I really wanted to do, and everybody liked to go out to the club and dance, because that's where all your friends are. You're looking for that. Now you got to find a whole new group of friends. But every weekend I would be in my room and I would basically be praying, and I would be asking the Lord, please don't let me mess up. Please don't let me go out. I don't want to go out. I don't want to go out. I don't want to go out. Because I'm scared if I start going out again, I will stop going to church, and then I will turn my back on the Lord. So it really took some time for me to where, okay, now I don't even want to go out anymore. I'm cool. I remember, I'm thinking about that saying that we have on our door where it says, first it'll seem like a sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember the last one, but then eventually at the end it said, then it'll seem like freedom.
Right.
So anyway, I finally got free from that. And I never had, so now, going out to a club, that I don't even know what that is. And it didn't really take that long to do that. Well, God was showing me that if you had that same desire when it came to food, you can be delivered the same way.
Right.
Just making it a matter of prayer.
So you really got two things that you're dealing with. You're dealing with temptation.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're dealing with addictions or yokes that they people,
Mm-hmm.
right? And either way, it's all a matter of faith, right?
Right.
And faith principles. And so I think sometimes we exalt, when the world exalts something
Mm-hmm.
and blow it out of proportion, we feel like it's not a job for faith or something, but it is a job for faith.
Right.
It is a something that God can help us with.
And it's
We just got
important.
to trust Him.
And so as we set our goals this year, I don't have a weight loss goal, but I do have some habits that I want to change.
What habits would you like to change?
Some
Rose?
habits I would like to change is, one habit I would like to change is not eat after 8. Because sometimes honey and I, we like to watch TV and we like to lay in the bed and we'll eat. And sometimes it could be 10 or 11 o'clock and I'll say, let's get that snack. And no, you really shouldn't eat that snack. But if you make it a matter of prayer, God probably would help you, and that craving or that little thing would pass. But sometimes you don't even want to mind the things of the spirit. It's like, it's not going to, it ain't like I'm going to commit adultery, so I'm moving on.
There's two things with that though, Tiki. And like what I want to keep in mind, it's yokes and it's temptations.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's just a temptation. You might not be thinking about nothing that I mentioned. I'm tempting you. Devil using me to tempt you. Commercials. What we're looking at.
Right.
So if it's just that simple, I mean, you have to look at it from that same perspective. You trying to get me off my goal. I think not too long ago we ministered on YouTube or talked on YouTube concerning focus.
Mm-hmm.
And so you got to stay focused.
Right.
But then there's a difference in being tempted to do something here and there, now and then. I'm not saying that you should, but not overcome, but versus something actually having you and calling you.
And calling you.
Yeah. Now you need to attack that thing.
Right.
Right. Because no one should want anything calling you like that. You know what I mean? All I want to hear call my name is Jesus. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As far as that is concerned. But
Yeah, because I remember, because my former education is substance abuse, so I can remember a lot of the alcoholics, I'll say recovering alcoholics. I just say they recover, but that's how they say it, recovering. They'll say, like, you can go and you can have a drink,
right.
but they can't have not one drink.
Because it'll just
Because
kick it
one
in.
drink will kick it in, and they'll be off the wagon, or they may wake up next week. Whereas you have a drink, you go home, they can't have one drink,
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of how it is. But if you are addicted that way, or food have you like that, it's really time to talk to the Lord about it.
Exactly. For years, and let me be transparent, where sweets was concerned, and I was reading this thing about DNA, but anyway, food wasn't so much what call it as much as the sweets. Of course, my dad was a diabetic, and I didn't get to have a whole lot of conversation with him about the impact that it had upon him. But one of the things that I started observing is my own blood sugar. Like at the job, we'll have those health fairs where we'll take our blood tests and cholesterol and all these different things. And so that started me to start looking at my numbers to where I bought my own little meter to kind of see how things affected me. But I found out that early on I was pre-diabetic. But one of the things that I noticed during those times, when I would just eat sweets, like going and coming. I mean, if it was free cake, I'm just rolling. I just didn't say no. I didn't treat it like a temptation as something else, because I just felt like it was food, right? And it made you happy. I mean, that's what you wanted. But it was perverted in the sense that it was destroying me.
Yeah, because I can remember you said to me one time, you were like, bro, just like you can go eat one slice of cake.
Mm-hmm.
I want the cake.
Yeah, I want the cake.
You want the cake.
Yeah, that thing was driving me. It was a yoke versus a temptation or something like that. Some people might say, well, you lose a couple of pounds and they trying to stop from doing it for a little while or whatever because they're going to drop some pounds. I was where it was calling me. It was calling me to the point that you want to sneak. You're sneaking and eating it. I remember telling them at my job when I worked in the field, man, if I just ate what my wife sent me for lunch and for dinner,
they tell on you too.
I'd be healthy as all get out.
They tell on you too. Mama Rose, they're eating wrong.
Man.
They're eating off the line or
Back
something.
then, they'd have birthdays for all the people that had their birthday in that month. And they'd get a big old slab of cake for every shift.
Wow.
For all the birthdays in that month. And I had folks that would bring me their slice. I'm already going to get mine for free. And they was generous with the slice. And then I might eat 2 or 3 other slices that people gave me a slice.
Yeah, and I think I wanted to make this point too, because a lot of times we try to use our willpower.
Yeah.
To eat right or to, and this is what you got to realize, that when you got saved, you had to do more than willpower.
Right.
It wasn't willpower.
If it was about willpower, you didn't have to die.
Right. If it was about willpower, he didn't have to die. So you need to take the same power that raised Jesus from the dead, that saved you,
right,
and move it into your health.
You need to take it to the cross. It needs to be crucified just like everything else.
And so anyway, so my number one goal is not to eat after 8 at night and before 12. And I'm just gonna, reason why I say that is because of the body's natural elimination cycle, right? That we read about probably 40 years ago in Fit for Life.
Right.
And it talks about from 8 a.m., from noon to 8 a.m. is when the body appropriates your food. It's appropriation time. That's when you eat. Nope, you don't eat.
No, from 12 to 8 is the eating window.
It's the eating window from 12 to 8 in the evening. From 12 noon to 8 at night is when you eat. And then from 8 p.m. till 4 a.m. is assimilation time. That's when the food is going through your digestive system and it's squeezing it and it's sending your nutrition to all your organs. And you know what? That just sounds like I need to do better with your nutrition. Anybody should hear that and say, you know what? I don't want my digestive system and my colon to be sending sugar to my liver or to my kidneys.
Right, your cells is trying to appropriate that.
Right, it's trying to get the nutrients out of food that you ate, and you didn't give it anything to survive.
It's perversion. In other words, the enemy got you eating empty calories. And it's almost like this when you think about empty in purpose. like we talked about the clothes. If the clothes didn't serve its purpose, well, you know, and it's totally fashion. It's like we sitting out here wearing strings, and it's a little chilly out here. It's about 63 degrees out here a little bit. And we sitting out here wearing strings because it looks fancy, you know what I'm saying? Oh man, they look real nice. But what's the intended purpose of clothes first and foremost? Now you can enjoy it and be fashionable, but don't be perverted.
Right.
Right? So it is with food. You can enjoy food, but it shouldn't pervert from its initial intended purpose. Can you still get nutrient out of it?
Right.
Can you still get strength out of it? Is, you know what I'm saying? Is it working?
Is it nourishing your body?
Right.
When you think about it at night, from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m., your body is sending your food that you ate today through your digestive system, through to your colon and everything, and it's squeezing it, and it's sending what these. It's sending things to your liver. It's sending things to your kidney. It's sending things to your pancreas, and it's sending, and you haven't given it anything to enhance your liver or to enhance your pancreas.
Let us prerequisite this conversation and say that we're not doctors.
We're not doctors. That's our disclaimer.
This our disclaimer. We're not doctors, and none of this advice should be.
It's for educational purposes only,
educational purposes
so you can do your own research.
And with that in mind, there's so much information out there.
Right.
I think you're absolutely right, man. This is awesome. So, the cycles: assimilation, appropriation, and elimination.
Yeah, assimilating, you're supposed to be eating from noon to 8. Appropriation is noon to 8. Assimilation is from 8 to 4. And elimination from 4 a.m. to noon. Everything that your body did not need or want should come out.
Now, one of the things that we started doing is doing that elimination time from 4
a.m. to noon.
To noon. I mean, I do anyway. I don't eat during elimination time.
Right.
So my eating window is from 12 to 8. And then I'm basically fasting from 8 to 12.
That's something you can look up to, intermittent fasting. Giving your organs and things time to rest and relax. Everything needs rest.
Everything needs rest. The easiest thing that you can do for your health is nothing. Let it rest.
Let it rest.
You know, we did a video on ultimate health not too long ago, and we talked about 3 pillars basically to ultimate health out of the book of Genesis, and it was talking about sunlight. God said, "Let there be light," the first day. Then He gave us water, and then we kind of alluded to rest, because on the 7th day He rested, and then He caused man to go into a deep sleep. But if I could add to that, I would add the 4th pillar was breathing. He gave man the breath of life. We don't do much to. We have to do more. That's one of my goals. You put it there.
Oxygenating the body.
Oxygen,
exercise.
Oxygenate that body. Get that lymph fluids and lymph system pumping and working that moves toxins from the body. And it's going to happen through our cardiovascular health by doing the things to increase your wind and your lung capacity. So Jesus, God had given to man the breath of life. When we started that other session, we were talking about life, meat, body, raiment. Roses covering meat or what we eat. And I'm just kind of alluding to the things that God gave us for life, you know. Even though meat is part of that, your ability to breathe, us sitting out here in the sunlight, trying to get this vitamin D, drinking your water, getting your electrolytes, and then also supplementing with the other parts of electrolytes that water should have, like potassium, magnesium, and most of our diets have plenty of sodium. This goes back to the weight loss and nutrition too, because your body won't retain water like it's going to need it, because you got plenty of electrolytes in it.
Right.
It'll let the water go.
Right, and you know, especially if you don't eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, would have your natural waters. But you do need that water to flush your liver, to flush those toxins, because your liver has to filter everything your body comes in contact with. Every lotion, every potion, all your makeup, everything in the air, your deodorant, everything you come in contact with, your liver has to try to get that toxin out so it won't set up anything bad in the body. So that's what the water's going to help do. But the natural waters that's in your fruits and vegetables is the best way to go.
Right. You naturally get it. Because actually when you drink I'm not hating on drinking regular water, but sometimes you can flush out your electrolytes.
Right.
By drinking too much water.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so make sure that you get your electrolytes in what you eat. You know, potassium-rich foods, leafy greens. You know, you got to get it in.
Mm-hmm.
But yes.
Okay, so another goal for me is to move more and to exercise more. I know we ride the bike a little bit, we walk a little bit. I think I want to add a few more things to my movement this year and just try to move more. And just like you said, get our cardiovascular health up.
But is it a goal? Is it a mutual goal?
Probably not. Probably not.
We believe God, and now we finally made the move on us a treadmill. What we plan on doing, or what I plan on doing, is getting on that treadmill and trying to train myself up to be able to run a mile or two, starting this summer. You know, on the regular pavement. You know, and the reason why I said a mile or two because I did a mile before. You know, I know that's bad to say, but I mean, because most people think of running plenty of miles.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, you know, one thing about exercising when it comes to running and stuff like that, you got to get past that first wind.
Yeah.
And sometimes just running that mile, you still in that first wind, it's still breaking you over.
Yeah. And it's not so much of how many miles. The goal is just to have your cardiovascular.
It's still going to stimulate
Because, you know, living in Texas, if you go to the games or anything, you're going to walk almost a mile before you get there. And Texas heat is excruciating. So you got to do that in the heat. So if you want to go somewhere and be out and about, you want to continue to be out and about as you age. You definitely want to get your cardiovascular health.
You want to get your cardiovascular. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can remember we went to the Ranger game. And man, just walking walking all the way up to the seats that we had.
Yeah, once you get there, you still got to walk up. You got to walk in there and get there.
Hey, AT&T Stadium, some walking to be done.
Right.
So, I mean, it's all good.
Yeah. Well, I don't have. Oh yeah, my next goal is to properly combine my food, and I'm not gonna go into that right now.
Let's talk about it. How long? How long would it be?
Maybe that's a whole other video to properly combine, because you know, as you age, your digestive systems,
you just want to
your digestive enzymes.
Probably need to be supplemented.
Need to be increased or need to be sometimes supplemented. And just an example of that, I bet a lot of you can remember when you could eat ice cream and you had no problem, and then all of a sudden you eat ice cream and
it's screaming at you.
Yeah, right. You're like, it won't stay there. It won't stay there. So that means your lactase has decrease, and you need to add that enzyme back in, lactase. But anyway, if you properly combine your food, it would help your digestive system out a lot. And maybe that's a whole nother video. We'll try to do that. Or you can read the book Fit for Life by Harvey Diamond.
Right.
And then go into all of that.
Yeah. It's not so much to eat like that as a lifestyle,
right,
as much as it is as a cleansing, in order to make sure that everything is flowing through.
Yeah.
So you have to learn that. If you're trying to keep those nutrients in and extract from them, you might, cycle with that.
Right.
So, but anyway.
Yeah, and I think the main reason why I'm not focusing in on weight loss is because sometimes you can get caught up on the weight loss and you forget the health and nutrition, because it's like, I just want to be thin no matter what.
You need lifestyle change.
So you really need a lifestyle change. You need something that you know that you're going to do for a lifestyle. So that's why I'm saying I'm changing my habits.
And if there's any issues, I can do all things through Christ to strengthen me. And you have to have the wherewithal to attack anything that's hindering you from doing what you can do through Christ.
Right.
That's an enemy. That's something that's opposing you, right? And you have to challenge it as such and use your authority and your faith to do that, to break that yoke.
Right. So that's where I'll be focusing. And once before, the Lord told me, when I was asking him about some things, he said, Rose, I need you to focus on the solution and not the problem. So focusing on these solutions. So I'm not going to focus in on what I'm doing wrong. To focus in on what I need to do right.
And I tell you what, that's a valid point that you brought up, because when I think in terms of everything being serving its intended purpose, when I'm eating, as I'm making my salad or my breakfast or whatever, I'm thinking about everything that I'm adding. You know what I mean? What what nutrients is being added? What you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so you're trying to do so much right that you end up doing that, and you're thinking, man, I still got this to eat in order to get this.
I know. Some days we run out of time
Run out of
because
time.
we wait. We try not to eat until noon. When you eat later in the day, we run out of time. It's
So you still want to cut it off at
you
8,
want to
right?
cut it off at 8. So by the time I have my lunch, and then I might have a snack, then I might have my green shake,
Mm-hmm.
and by the time your body digests your lunch, because it really takes like 2.5 hours for your body, for the food to really leave the stomach to start going into the other areas of your body to do stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to start piling it up.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time you get to where you want to get that snack for before 8 o'clock, you're like, man, I done ran out of time. I'm still full. I ate at 6. I'm still full. You know, and you know, sometimes it's, well, you know, we got to be through eating at 8, so you gonna
But
get
something
it in,
about
get
that
it in.
nutrients dense food, that
Right.
nutrient dense food,
Mm-hmm.
you don't be hungry nowhere.
Right.
You might not, out of temptation, you might be thinking, you saw a commercial or something like that. But that's with anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Temptations come all the time. That don't mean that it has something in you. You know what I mean? You know, it's just because you saw something, you can just resist that or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But we're talking about being something calling you. If it's a yoke,
Mm-hmm.
don't take it lightly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So I think the main thing we want to leave you here with this, but our health goal video, is that if you have an issue or any type of eating disorder, or if you have a spirit of gluttony, don't leave it to your willpower.
Right.
Take it to the power of the Holy Ghost. Let him destroy that yoke, because he can destroy that yoke.
That's what the anointing is for.
That's what the anointing is for. And move over into nutrition for your life. Don't just wait on God to heal you. Think preventative. Think that every night when you go to bed and you go to sleep, that you've given your body something healthy to give to your organs. You know, that you gave it some fruit or vegetable, which represents a vitamin A or vitamin B, or it represents some calcium or potassium. You know, that is just not candy.
It's going to become significant if you start exercising, because exercising will tell on you what you ate.
Right.
Whether it's cardiovascular type exercise, weightlifting. If you ate wrong, number one, you ain't going to want to go. It's not going to give you the energy to go. Now you got to try to get yourself up to go.
I know. Remember we was running,
Yeah.
and we'd have like a fun weekend. We didn't have just.
Well, man, you
we
had the
didn't eat.
butterflies when it comes time
Yeah,
to go
you
that
go be
track.
walking down to the track, and you're like, oh Lord. You just know it's gonna be hard because you didn't give. You ate all that junk that you wasn't supposed to eat.
Right.
So you know that day at the track was gonna be a real workout, real workout.
But if you ate nutritiously, or appropriately,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
you're looking forward to it. You know, hey, I know I didn't violate. This ought to be a pretty good workout. This would be a good run or whatever, right?
And you know, I want to come in, and you know, I think about a lot of people who have thyroid issues, who've been trying to lose weight, that's very disappointed, and maybe you have insulin resistance and you've been trying to lose weight and you're very disappointed. Feed your body what's healthy, and then give the rest of it to God. Because just because someone is skinny does not mean they're healthy.
Right.
It does not mean they're healthy. It just means they're skinny or their metabolism is good. You know? So remember to feed your body what it needs. And then sometimes now we try to eat organic as much as possible. But everybody can't afford organic. Now I want to say this too. This is why you know you can do it through the power of God. Because God has no respect of person. And he knows everybody can't buy organic food. So you have to be able to bless that food and tell Lord to cleanse it and sanctify it, right? And he promised to bless our bread and water and to take sickness from our midst. He told us that in Genesis. So we have to be able to stand on the power of God for our nutrition. Because everybody's not going to be able to eat organic food.
Right.
And God is fair. Because if he wasn't fair, it's like, if I don't have the money to eat organic, that means I'll miss out.
So, by faith, bless your food.
Bless your food.
And by faith, come against that spirit of gluttony. You well on your way.
You're on your way. Then put everything else in God's hand, just like you do, just like your salvation. You couldn't save yourself. Right?
That's right.
So that's
Try,
part of
try.
salvation.
You said,
When you gave
try.
your life to the Lord, that was part of your salvation. Your healing, health. First, the Lord, let me just walk in health, and you won't have to be asking for healing. And your finances, everything you need, God's got it.
And what's so awesome about it is that God wishes above all things
Yes,
that you prosper, be in health, even as your soul prospers.
even as your soul.
And remember,
You are
happy,
happy,
healthy,
healthy,
wealthy,
wealthy, fit, and
forgiving.
forgiving.